just when you thought it was safe to go back to Bragg Stadium. Look out, Rattler Mania returns, and it's all good. Don't miss a minute of the action as the Rattlers of FAMU strike, and strike again in 94. For season tickets information, call 599-3230 or 599-3141. Sneak preview Rattler Weekend starts September 3rd at Bragg Stadium. Be there.
The Billy Joe Show, a weekly recap of Florida A&M Rattler football, is brought to you by the Florida Lottery. We're making winners every day. Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly. Gatorade, for that deep down body thirst. The Florida Department of Citrus, 100% Florida orange juice, here's to your health. Tallahassee Ford, when looking for a car, you should go with the leader, Tallahassee Ford. Publix, get it all together at Publix. And by the Florida Dairy Farmers. Milk, it does a body good.
We'll run and shoot action here for Pep Hamilton. Sets it up, fires, picked up by Rohan. He's got what he wants. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown, FAMU.
Big game, big win for the Florida A&M Rattlers. Hello and welcome to the Coach Billy Joe Show. I'm Keith Miles, your host, along with the head Rattler. Coach Joe, a big win. Rattlers opened the conference season by defeating the defending conference champion and Black College national champion.
Yes, Keith, that was a fine victory, a big game for us. Our first conference opponent, first conference game, coming back home off of a loss, a very heartbreaking loss. And to beat Howard right here in Bragg Stadium was really a pleasure. We're really happy. Our players are getting better every day, every week. And we're still not as good as we're going to get. We're better than what we demonstrated this past weekend.
Coach, another good crowd in Bragg Stadium also. We had over 24,000 first game against Tuskegee, 19,000 plus against Howard for the conference season opener. Rattler fans coming out to support this team.
Yes, they are. Our fans are very supportive of this program. They come out, rain, sleet, and even if it was snowing, I think they would still be out there. Our fans are very supportive. They love us. They love what we're doing, and we love our fans, too. We want them to continue supporting us in every way because they're a part of this program as well.
Yeah, your booth even got a little bigger.
Yes, it did. Yeah, got just a little bigger.
Yes,
it did.
All right, we're going to come back and look at those first half. Coach Joe, coaches from the skybox, and so he had a tiny booth the first game, and this game against Howard, his booth got just a little bit bigger. So we'll come back and take a look at the first half highlights. FAMU and Howard after this time out on the Coach Billy Joe Show. All right, welcome back to the Coach Billy Joe Show. FAMU and Howard coach in Bragg Memorial Stadium, and a big ball game. First of all, Howard comes in. They were 1-1. They had just lost a 1-point loss to Hampton, and they're trying to rebound, get back on track. Defending conference champs, defending national champs, and Steve Wilson has really brought that Howard football program a long way.
Yes, Coach Wilson has done a real fine job with the Bisons. He's only been there less than 5 years, and is doing a very credible job. Last year, undefeated during the regular season, MEAC champs, made the playoffs, lost to Marshall in a close contest.
Marshall went on to win a national championship.
They came close to winning it. Youngstown won it.
Youngstown won it, right.
But they had an unbelievable team last year, and they have a real fine football team this year as well. Right. But I think they caught us when we were hot. They caught us when we were mad. And
somebody had to pay.
Somebody had to pay, Keith. And it had to be the Bison.
All right, we'll go to first half highlights in Bragg Stadium. 19,000 plus on hand to see Coach Joe in his second debut in Tallahassee, and the Rattlers break out in the orange and orange jerseys on this night. Again with the A.S. Jake Gaither tributes on the sleeve there, Coach. And here we go. Early, we're going to take the opening kickoff and go on offense first.
Yes, it was very important for us to really establish ourselves on this first drive to send a message to Howard that, hey, we're here to play, and you're going to be in for a long evening tonight. So we had called a draw the first play, a little 20-yard out to Robert Wilson, and he has some real good rack ability, run after catch, and makes a real fine play out.
Yeah, Robert Wilson is really stepping up. Here we go, Shamil Simpkins. Coach, we've been talking about this running game, and big night for Shamil Simpkins.
Yes, we've been talking about that running game for a while. We hadn't broken 100 yards, 2 backs, that is. We've always done under 90. And we thought that we had to establish a real good, solid running game if we're going to be effective against great football teams.
All right, Robert Wilson takes it in for the score, and Tim Cameron's extra point is no good, so the Rattlers take an early 6-0 lead. Coach, Tim kind of struggled on this night.
Well, yes, Tim had a rush. He had some problems with his accuracy just on the 1 field goal, which I thought was good, but evidently it wasn't. And also an extra point. He missed an extra point, but Tim's a super fine kicker, and we can always rely on him to get some points for us.
All right, you see the Rattlers swarming to the ball carrier. That's Big Rupert Grant, the Bison fullback. Pep Hamilton at quarterback right now, and he fires this one out here for James Cunningham, and it's incomplete. He caught it, but out of bounds. All right, here goes the Bison again. Pep Hamilton, again, getting lots of pressure, forced out of that pocket, and, boy, orange jersey everywhere.
Oh, yes, we were really swarming last night. We're really after the Bisons. They just didn't have any room to hide. They didn't have room to do much of anything last night.
Tremaine Stick Bridges, coach, comes in. This is his first action of the season, and, boy, he was flying on those punt returns.
Yes, Sticks adds another dimension to our punt return. He has great speed, good change of direction, just an excellent return man, and he's going to hurt some people before the year's over.
All right, Shamil again. Ball pops out here, and I think Howard recovers early. Yeah, this is their first big break of the night.
Yeah, Shamil fumbled on that. He was stripped, and we just have to carry that ball a little bit more carefully and secure it in our arms so that that doesn't happen again.
All right, the Bison set up the screen to Rupert Grant. Well, look at here. It's Bruce Daniels out of Valdosta, Georgia, comes up to put him down.
Yes, Bruce had another fine evening. We were very concerned with their draws and their screens, and our linebackers really had to come up with an excellent football game in order to slam the door shut on their draws and screens.
And once again, it's Tremaine Bridges out of Lynette, Alabama. And it's off or not because the Rattlers were penalized for roughing the kicker. And Pep Hamilton back on offense. And Antonio Barrio, coach, he's our leading interceptor, as a matter of fact. It's his second one of the season.
Yeah.
And Tony is right on the spot.
Yes, Antonio had a real fine game. He played with a badly sprained hand. He wore a soft cast all evening long, and we really didn't think he'd be able to intercept any balls for us, but he did it even with the cast on.
And he said he's gonna lead this team in interceptions this year.
Well,
here's a good effort by Ray trying to get it into Tony Bland, and it fails, and then we go for the field goal. This one is blocked, and so we still maintain a 6-0 lead as the first quarter comes to an end. Now second quarter action, and here's Ray again getting good protection up front, has a lot of time, delivers the pass, and it's caught there by Robert Wilson.
Yes, Robert's running an in route, a 20-yard in route, and Ray spots him and puts the ball on the money and hits him for the big catch.
Yeah, that was intended for Shamil out of the backfield. Coach, I know you're pleased with Ray's development week to week.
Yes, Ray is getting better and better, and just like I've always said, he's not as good as he's going to get. He's going to get much better because he's still learning the system, and very, very pleased with his performance thus far.
All right, Tim Cameron makes the long field goal, and it gives us a 9-0 lead. Howard back on offense, and Pep Hamilton here is going to run. Actually forced him out of the pocket, coach, and he just tried to get what he could get there. And now he's going to set up and pass, and this one is picked off by Earl Holmes.
Oh, yes, Earl Holmes had a real fine evening. He's a great athlete, great speed, real good, solid strength, very emotional, stays fired up, stays pumped up all the time. We're very happy to have him on our side, and he's going to continue to have a great year.
Second interception on the night for the Rattlers against Pep Hamilton, coach. And some of the players commented that he was an easy quarterback to read.
Well, we were well prepared for exactly what they were going to do, and they did exactly what we thought they were going to do, so they were relatively easy to read because our players were well prepared.
All right, that's Sebastian Owens on the reception from Terrell Hill. Now, Terrell Hill is in at quarterback. The ball pops out. Here's Antonio Barrio, coach, and he now has an interception in this game and a fumble recovery.
Yes, he had a great football game, and just want him to continue working as hard as he does in practice and come through those fine performances in the game.
Shamil Simpkins out of East Orange, New Jersey with a fine run there and good blocking up front by the offensive line. And here's Ray once again. Look at here, pulls away from a Howard defender. Now scrambles around and then decides, okay, nobody's open. I'll try and get what I can get.
Yes, Ray was trying to make something happen, trying to make a big play, and as a result, of course, he was tackled for a loss, but he did retain the ball, didn't fumble it.
I know you don't like Ray getting too far out there.
No, we have our fullbacks and halfbacks, and he's a quarterback. I want him to slide into second base when he's anticipating a big hit.
Coach, I know right now we're up 9-0. It's 16-0. Sorry, it's at halftime. Could have been 26-0 at this point, and really Howard a little lucky right now to still be in this ball game at this point.
Yes, you're quite true, Keith. We had some scoring opportunities that we really didn't take advantage of, and we just cannot continue to let that happen, because if the game was very competitive and into balance, it may have meant the difference between winning and losing. But we're going to have to take advantage of those scoring opportunities, which there are about 3 that we didn't take advantage of.
All right, we'll come back and take a look at the second half highlights, FAMU and Howard, after this time out on the Billy Joe Show. All right, welcome back to the Coach Billy Joe Show. Coach, it's halftime, 16-0. Rattlers up over Howard. Could easily be 26-0 right now. Know the players are feeling good. They're in control of this ball game, but it's not over yet.
No, it's not over at all. Matter of fact, it should have been over. We had a touchdown called back. Ray ran about 25 yards, took the ball down to about the 3-yard line. There was a fumble, a muff punt that we thought their punt returner fumbled on a 2, and we recovered. A lot of things took place that really could have closed the door shut, slammed tight on Howard early in the game if we were fortunate enough to get some calls and make some plays.
I don't want to make it too easy for you now. All right, we're going to go second half highlights, and here we go. It's Howard on offense, Terrell Hill. Terrell Hill, an interesting story, Coach. They moved him to wide receiver, but before Jay Walker, he was a quarterback, and so now he's reverting back to the quarterback position. So he has some experience, and he's a softball quarterback.
Right, that's true. Matter of fact, they used 3 quarterbacks last night, trying to find something, trying to make something happen. There's Earl missing another touchdown.
Yeah, he had a touchdown there, I'm telling you. Yeah. Rattlers back on offense. Shamil again finding a little running room up front there and getting some blocking from the big guys there. Here's Ray. He's going to get flushed out of pocket. Coach, that is Jose White, their All-American candidate.
Yes, he just wreaked havoc all night long in our backfield. He's truly an All-American candidate, and he's nothing but the truth.
Darren Ford is our young punter, Coach, and actually got to give him some credit there. A fine job to just get on the ball and give up the 2 instead of the 6.
Exactly. Very smart, very intelligent young man, and just falling on the ball was the wisest thing to do, because it could have been even more disastrous.
All right, once again, Hill finds Sebastian Owens underneath the coverage there for a nice little gain. And then once again, we get good pressure on the quarterback. I know you wanted more pressure after the Jackson State game, and you saw Earl Holmes coming in from that outside linebacker spot, giving some pressure. Here we go, Ray Domingo, and Ray's going to get flushed out of this pocket this time. And look, Ray can run it when he has to.
Oh, yes, Ray's very tough, very physical. And, again, I want him to slide into second base. I don't want him to take all these hits.
Nice connection here to Jay Young. And, Coach, that's a young man who can really fly when he gets the football, too.
Yes, Jay Young has good hands, and he has excellent speed. And he came in for Robert Wilson and did a fine job in substitution.
Well, who said Tony Bland can't run after the catch, huh?
Tony Bland has excellent speed. A lot of people underestimate his speed, but he's 4.5 all the way.
All right. Hey, look at Tim throws a nice block for backup quarterback Mario Allen, who tosses it in the end zone for a 2-point try, but it fails after we get I think it was a bad snap there, and Mario tried to make something happen.
Yes,
and here we go. It's 22-2 right now, and here comes Howard on the kickoff. And this is James Cunningham, coach, and he is one of those Howard bright spots, a little guy, but he's a tough little guy, great wide receiver.
Yes, he is a great wide receiver, 58 receptions last year, and great hands, a lot of experience. And he'll have another fine year this season, too.
Yeah, that one looked like a fumble there, too, Coach, but it grew incomplete. And again, another incompletion for Howard. There's the Marching 100. They're rocking and swinging, having a good time at Bragg
They have
Stadium.
a great band. They're super.
Yeah, here we go. Shamil Simpkins, coach, with a fantastic run. I know that's the kind of running you want to see.
Oh, yes. Shamil has more moves than a hula dancer, and he can really make something happen and break a game wide open.
Well, he
really
shimmies on into the end zone.
Yes,
right?
he did. Yes, he did.
And so the Rattlers add 6 more, 29-2 with Tim's extra point. And so, yeah, that's going to wrap it up pretty much there at the end of the third quarter. And I know fourth quarter, you're just going to take some ticks off the clock. Real classy thing there, too, Coach, that I thought you did. Late in the ball game, we had another drive going. Probably could have added more points on the board, but you said, hey, this one's over. Took a knee and called it off.
That's right. The last drive, we just continued to run the ball. And then I wanted to flop on at the end because it was no need to try and score again. It was obvious that we were going to win the game. And, of course, why run the ball up in there? Someone may get hurt. Just flop on it, and no one gets hurt. We end the game, we win it, and we go home and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, big victory. Here again is, this is Shamil. Reggie Glover got you some good, tough yards when you needed the short yards on this night, too. Running game's coming around.
Yes, it is. Reggie Glover did a real fine job. He made a real big catch inside the plus 15 early in the game as well. Real good catch.
Nice punt there by Darren, and I guess that's Cunningham. Fumbles that snap, and then we get it here. And let's see. They ruled that it was dead.
That was a very questionable call. I still don't know what that is, but the officials ruled it against us, and we'll have to accept it and live with it.
Yeah, Jamil Jenkins comes up and puts a big pop on the Howard receiver. Jamil's from Washington, D.C., so he wanted to play well against his homeboys there. And here we go. That's Barry Brown, I think, comes up with an interception. And we go back on offense. Ray Domingo rolling to his right. And look at this. What a great catch by Tony Bland. And this one comes back.
Yes, this one comes back, and they ruled it both ways, beyond the line of scrimmage and also interference. But they're the officials, and evidently they saw a lot of things happening that a lot of our fans and coaches didn't see.
Yeah, including yourself. Here's our final stats for the night, Coach. 398 total yards of offense, 236 in the air, 162. You finally cracked that 100-yard rushing night, and you really poured it on the Howard Bison. Only 159 yards total, 109 in the air for the defending conference champs, defending national champs. This is a very big win. Sort of sets the tone for rest of conference play.
Yes, I believe so, and I certainly hope so as well. Defensively, we slammed the door shut on their running game and their passing game. Matter of fact, we shut their offense out. We got the goose egg as far as our defense shutting their offense out. But I thought our players played extremely well, but we're still not satisfied. We know that we can play much better than what we demonstrated last night. We're an excellent football team, and we want to begin playing like a super football team because we do have a real fine football team here this year.
All right, Coach Joe, the defensive player of the game, Antonio Barriel out of Miami. Barriel has 5 assists, 4 unassisted tackles, 1 interception, and 1 fumble recovery, and played with a very sore thumb. So a great night for Tony Barriel.
Yes, Tony Barriel had a real fine evening. Has a lot of character, a lot of discipline. He's a hard worker and loves the game of football. Anytime you have a gentleman playing with a soft cast on his hand, you know he loves the game of football.
All right, our offensive player of the game is Ray Domingo. We're going to have to toughen up this category because Ray is getting this thing too many times. 15 of 25 in passing, no interceptions, 236 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ray is having a fantastic year, and boy, how can he get any better? You say he's still going to get better.
Yes, he's still getting better. He's still learning, and he's not as good as he's going to get. But he's playing real fine football, and we just hope that he continues to improve and just doesn't get hurt, don't get injured. Ray, slide into second base.
All right, Coach. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference scoreboard on the Coach Billy. All right, welcome back to the Coach Billy Joe Show. We're going to take a look at the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference scoreboard from this past weekend. And, Coach, up next, the Big Blue Tigers of Tennessee State, and they put it on the Bulldogs. of South Carolina State this past weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Atlanta Classic, 32-28. That means the Big Blue Tigers are coming home for homecoming sky high.
Yes, they are. Wild Bill Davis, their coach, has them sky high. They're playing excellent football. They lost a close one to Jackson State, but they're a great football team. We have to play them this coming weekend on their homecoming. So we're going into a hornet's nest, and we're certainly hoping that we don't get stung.
There'll be about 50,000 in Vanderbilt Stadium.
A big crowd.
A big crowd. Bethune-Cookman and North Carolina Central. This is Larry Little going back to face his alma mater, the team he used to coach, 24-5. The Eagles come away with a win.
Yes, Larry Little let it all hang out, my old good buddy, and of course, Cy McLaren's a good buddy of mine too. You hate to see either one of them lose, but somebody's got to pay. Someone has to lose, not always a tie. But, of course, Larry has them off and running.
Yeah, but they don't have to play. Delaware State was idle this past weekend.
That is true.
So they took the weekend off.
Yeah.
And let's see. Morgan State, boy, continuing the struggle. Ricky Diggs having a tough year. 22-13, they lose for Knoxville College, and the Morgan State Bears are still winless.
Yes, Ricky Diggs having some very serious problems there in Baltimore, and hopefully he'll get things on track and get his team competitive again.
All right, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, Coach Bill Hayes, they go down again to Jacksonville State, 24-17. The Aggies now are 2-2, Coach, on the season.
Yes, Bill Hayes had a few problems there with Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State's a real fine football program. I've had the opportunity to go up against that team, and they play great football. Coach Hayes will have a good year. He's off to a slow start, but he'll have a good season.
All right, they're coming to town on October 8th for the Hall of Fame game in Bragg Stadium. Here's the conference standing in the MEAC. FAMU now leading, sitting on top of that conference with Bethune-Cookman at 1-0 and 2-1 this season. Still early in the season. It's a young conference slate right now. Only 2 conference games have actually been played, Bethune and Morgan and FAMU and Howard so far.
Right, yes. The season really hasn't kicked off in earnest yet, but the next few weeks we'll all be playing each other, and may the best man win.
Gonna be good. Gonna be good. Well, listen, we're going to tell you, if you're not going to make that trip to Nashville, Tennessee, don't forget to tune in next week, because we'll have all of the highlights of FAMU and those Big Blue Tigers of Tennessee State. It's homecoming in Nashville, and certainly it's going to be a lot of color and pageantry, and we'll have it all for you right here next week on the Coach Billy Joe Show. We'll see you then.
We